beginning.
Hi everybody, welcome to Lunch with Linda. It's January 24th, Monday, and I am Linda Daniels, the proprietress, if you will, of Northampton Wools, and I am happy to welcome you all here today on this bright, sunny, blue sky day. It's so beautiful out, cold, but beautiful, really sunny. I can't see the comments, so Kate is gonna stand back there and let me know who's showing up so that we can talk directly to you. Hi Stella. Hi Marie. Good to have you with us. So yeah, it's been so cold that there's actually ice forming on the ponds and even on the river. On my way in today, I drive along the Connecticut River and noticed that there was a big hole dug out in the middle of the river. They must have been ice fishing over it over the weekend. And when I came home on Sunday, getting off the Mass Pike, there's a little pond in Ludlow, and everybody was out there playing hockey and digging holes for ice fishing. So the ponds and rivers have really frozen over. We don't have much snow, and I'm kind of missing a good old-fashioned snowstorm out there, but it has certainly been cold enough for people to get those ice skates on. Hey, Barbara. Amanda? Great. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Barbara. I took a little runaway trip, as many of you know, this weekend. I just took Saturday off, and I called up Eileen and said, come on, meet me halfway and we'll have just an overnight together. And we did that, and it was really, really wonderful. But that meant that I wasn't in the store on Saturday, and it never fails. Even when we try to be super organized, things always go slightly wrong for some issues. Amanda, the Lantern Moon needle cases that you were looking for are here. They just couldn't see them with everything else that we have in here. So don't worry, we still have plenty of those. They're not sold out like they told you they were. So next time you come in, we've got some needles set aside for Amanda. You can also look at those Lantern Moon cases. They're not full of needles, they are just empty cases, and really, really pretty. So we do still have plenty of those. Also, what was the other thing? I can't remember. But I guess when I was coming home from there, I saw people on the ice skating rink, that's it. And having the weekend away. So having the night away with Eileen, we just met at a midway point, which happened to be right at the Rentham outlets. We got a hotel room. We visited a little bit, and then we walked around the outlets for just a tiny bit, had a nice dinner, and by 6:30, we were back in the room knitting like mad. And I'm gonna talk about that knitting that I did in just a second. Hey, Sally. Hey, Lana.
And Amanda loves your sweater.
Oh, thank you, Amanda, because that's what I'm gonna talk about next. This is about my 4th time through Ranunculus, and I wanted to talk about it because we had a couple of people make it and a question about it from Jen in the Northampton Wools group. So Ranunculus is one of my favorite sweaters now for lots of different reasons. First of all, I've knit this in a fingering weight held together with a lace weight mohair. So you're working with a double strand of yarn. It's knit from the top down. There are a little bit of short rows to add a little bit of shaping to both the front and back neck. And then you have a little bit of lace work, and it's a little bit of a unique stitch pattern, but it's not hard. And then once you hit the underarm, it's just stockinette stitch. And you either make it a long sleeve, a short sleeve, a cap sleeve, a 3/4 sleeve. You make it a full length, a cropped length, however long you want it to be. I like this length to wear over a dress because it hits just below my waist. My waist is really right here, and I just really, really like that look and that feel. It's really lightweight. It's not a big, heavy sweater. It's very lightweight, but because of the mohair and the fingering weight yarn together, it's actually very warm. So I've actually got on 3 layers today, and my turtleneck, my Old Navy sweatshirt / dress, and the Ranunculus, and I'm really comfortable. Bess said,
Bess is here, and so is Brenda. Brenda loves your sweater too.
hi, great. So Ranunculus is a free pattern. I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, it's a free pattern on Ravelry, one that people have done over and over and over again. And Jen asked me a couple questions in the Northampton Wools group. On the directions, there's an option for a small neck and a wider neck. Both of them have you cast on the same number of stitches. And they do a double twist cast on. I always just do a regular long tail cast on and 60 stitches that it says to start with, and then go from there. A lot of these designers can get a little fancy and fussy, and you don't always need to be that fancy or fussy. So it's the designer is Knit Cafe Midori, Midori, and she has a ton of videos that go along with the sweater. So she has a video for the double twist cast on if you want to see what it's about. She also has a video for how to do the stitch pattern in there. So you can, if you get stuck with anything, you can either ask in the group, or you can check out Knit Cafe Midori, because that's where all of her videos are on. And just before we came on, Kate and I played a little bit with colors, because there are so many variations of this. You can make it like I said, with short sleeves. You can make it just with the mohair if you want a really light kind of covering. But we pulled together some colors that we thought would be really fun, and we thought this would be wonderful if you have a teenager or a young adult in your life and want to look for something happy and fun to do. The other reason I really love this sweater is it practically takes nothing. It's 600 yards, up to 1,000 if you want to make some of the larger, longer sizes, but it starts at 600 yards. That means 2 skeins of mohair and 2 skeins of the fingering weight. That's it. So it's a total of 4 skeins. So we put together this fun colorway. This is the silk hair that's hand dyed from Trendsetter Yarns, Alana Grasso, and this is the cool wool that also comes from them. So the colors really go together well because they are dyed for the same company. And then we grabbed a skein of Emma's yarn, her crazy beautiful color Marvelous Mohair. This also has 459 yards. So again, 2 skeins of Emma's mohair. And then we pulled a skein of the Malbrigo sock, which has the 440 yards. So again, 2 skeins of each color, and you've got a great sweater that you can make long sleeved and longer in the body. It is a very cropped style, and I always make it longer. This one we thought, man, who of you can get this done in time for Valentine's Day? That's the challenge. Anybody want a red sweater to wear out for dinner on Valentine's Day? This would be the color choice to make, and you could easily, I think, get it done if you've got some knitting time.
We have a few questions.
Yep.
For the circular needle, what length do you use?
Yeah, so you start with a 16-inch, and then all the increases fall in the yarn over section right in here. So at some point you will want to transfer to a 24-inch. I never go bigger than the 24-inch because the yarns are thin, and so you can fit a lot of skinny stitches on a shorter needle. Once the widest part is right here, just before you split to take the sleeves off, and it can be a little bit cramped on that 16-inch, but it fits comfortably on a 24-inch, and then the body is easy on the 24-inch as well. Sleeves, you can go back to a 16-inch. There isn't a lot of shaping, so you never really get tiny where you need to change to double pointed needles. You'll be able to stay on the 16-inch all the way down. So a 16-inch and a 24-inch. I don't think, from what I don't remember the cuff, the ribbing at the neck or the ribbing at the bottom necessarily calling for a smaller needle, and I didn't do a smaller needle on the bottom. I would go back and do that, just because it has a tendency to flare a little bit when I'm wearing it, but I'm mostly sitting down when I'm here anyway, so it doesn't really bother me. So think about that, using a smaller needle to start with, and then going to the larger size needle. Any other questions?
Junk Welcome really liked our color selections, and Bonnie says hi to both of us. Hi, Bonnie.
Thanks. And
Thanks,
so then
Junk.
we have one more fun one. Now this would give you a real, what I call rag kind of look, because the mohair is this really nice soft turquoise, but the pheno, which is from Manos, has a tendency to be a little tonal, and so you'll get a real twist of the colors. You see that there? I don't know if I can show you
this
that.
This combination is what I call painterly.
Painterly.
It's gonna come out like an impressionist painting.
Can you see what happens when you hold the two colors together? Am I holding it close enough?
Yeah, I can see it.
So the darker color is really going to dominate, but then it's going to look like it has that little twist of light color all the way through it. So that would be a really interesting combination.
Yeah, it would be fun to see it work up.
It would be fun to see it
hands,
worked
yeah.
up. So those are just some ideas out there for you, because I have a feeling that the rest of this winter and the rest of this spring is really going to be about color. Speaking of which, the Pantone color of the spring is periwinkle. So I'm sure all of the yarn companies will be showing a ton of periwinkle that you'll want to be knitting with. So bright and happy. So the one thing that I did knit, that I worked on with my weekend with Eileen, was starting the sea glass sweater. Some of you have signed up for it. I'm going to do this as a Zoom knit along, or class if you call it, and it's really going to turn into a class. I have started knitting the sweater because the pattern is already ready, so that I'm ahead and I know what I want to talk about. And there's a couple of things already right from the beginning. So first of all, if you are signed up for the class, please don't start it, because right away, right from the cast on, I've got something that I want to share with you. Yes, use these next. That class starts on the 5th, so up until the 5th, use that time to put your colors together, gather what you can, figure out what you may want to add. This is a real exercise in letting go of what your color idea may be. And I'm going to go right back to the Kate Fawcett School of Color. Kate was splashed onto the knitting scene back in the mid 80s, late 80s, early 90s, and he was an artist or painter by trade, and then he slipped into the knitting field. And his philosophy was basically, the more color you add, the better, the deeper, the richer your knit or paint becomes. And that's so the truth. So I wanted to quickly show you what I got done this weekend on the sea glass sweater. I posted a picture of what my odds and ends were that I was going to be working with, and I've begun to knit the sweater with them. You're going to need a lot of markers, and you're going to need a lot of color. And I won't tell you what things I'm going to change right now, because not all of you are signed up. If you're interested in the class, it's a very easy knit. You're knitting one stitch in color A, and then you're knitting one stitch in color B. And then you can, lots of different ways to change the colors as you go through. There's a really great increasing technique that I've used a lot that they talk about, and it's from Wool and Pine, and their pattern is available on Ravelry for purchase. And if you sign up for our KAL or /class, you can do that on the website. If you sign up by Saturday, I'm going to give you a $20 credit so that you can add to your stash. And I wanted to talk about color to all of you. Was this in here, or did you just add it?
I brought it in to add.
Okay. So Kate brought in her stash busting kind of thing, and we lined them all up, or threw them all in this basket. And as you can see, it's a very Kate palette. These are the colors that she loves and wears often. So I wasn't surprised to see this, and I hope that all of you can see it. Now she's got a lot of some colors, but she does have several different colors. But it is very monochromatic. And what I have found from knitting the hat and starting the sweater is you think you have a lot of color, and you think you, whoops, I just caught my sweater. And you think you have a lot of choices. The truth is you don't.
Just pull your sweater.
I did just pull my sweater.
Dang.
But that's all right, I'll fix that later. The truth is you don't. And so Kate and I spent a little bit of time on Friday, and we went around, and I wanted to add a few things that she said no to, but we finally agreed on a couple of things. And I want you to see what happens when you add, I'm adding this color. We've decided to add a black. Don't be afraid of black or white or cream. And we're going to add a multicolor from Unique.
Now this is the hardest one for me to add.
And Kate is
because
like
it has
already
purple.
cringing again, but I want you to see what happens to that basket. And then Kate brought in this, which we'll also add in there. Look at what happens now. Whoops.
It is so much more fun.
You really can see that just adding those 4 different colors really makes the whole rest of the colors pop even more.
And this one looks wild, but it's gonna match everything.
It's going to be beautiful in there.
This is me pushing myself.
So we're gonna push Kate. She's got that, and then she also has a lot of this color as well.
Is it a slip stitch pattern?
No, it's not a slip stitch pattern. You are actually knitting with 2 colors at a time. This is the nightmare, but there's a lot of tricks for how to handle this.
Oh.
Because basically the way the pattern is designed, or they started out designing it, is that you change both colors on every row. So row 1 is color A and B. Row 2 is color C and D. Row 3 would be E and F. And any and all combinations. So every single row has a beginning and an end to cut of 2 colors. So it is a lot of ends, but there are a lot of tricks for dealing with them that I will be talking about in the workshop. But what I really wanted you to think about and to realize is that no matter even when you think you have enough color, you don't. Add more.
Yeah.
Add more, add more. And anywhere in the making of this sweater, Kate can decide that she's gonna cringe now that she needs a blue.
No!
Or a turquoise. No. We'll let her do her little thing. So that's coming up on February 5th, and I wanted just to remind you that you have until Saturday to sign up for it, and you'll get a nice little bonus in that. And speaking of color, we got a big order from Earth Yarns of the Unique worsted weight and the Galatea cotton. It's a bulky weight cotton that we had a little bit of last year, and I really, really liked it. So we went ahead and ordered a bunch more in it. And I didn't bring all the colors over, but I brought some.
Amanda says we all need more color. Well, here it comes.
Here it comes, is right. So this is the Galatea. This is a bulky weight organic cotton, and it does, it is a very stripy tonal, this one I would call tonal. We did get some solid colors in it. So we got the off-white, we got this nice light blue, and I also brought over the peach and the turquoise. If you can see, can you see it, Kate?
Yeah.
This tank top right here.
Here, I'll stand.
Okay. I knit this last week, and I continued to finish it. I'm going to do a different model, but this tank top is knit with it. And if you can see it from way back there, the very first skein that I knit is different than the other 2 skeins that are in it. It took 3 skeins to do this little tank top with just a little bit left over. So you can see how the color changes from right here. This was all 1 skein, and then it really changed. But it has a overall very striped like the unique colors do kind of effect. And this pattern, so I've pulled a couple of the patterns out because although I like that tank, it's not for everybody. And so I'm going to do a little short sleeved cardigan, a little cropped cardigan, and the pattern that I'm going to use is from Crystal Palace Yarns, which is no longer here, but the Wayback Machine does still take you to that thing. I am going to make it a little bit longer, but I'm going to keep the short sleeves, and I'm going to do it in one of these gorgeous multicolored
Which one should she do?
So that's just not the only choice.
Oh.
Look at that one. I love that
It's like
color.
a garden.
Pink. It is like a spring garden, pink and green. And then this one gets a little brighter,
Unicorn.
a little more summery for that look. And then of course I showed you the peach, which I love. But look at this one.
That's sophisticated.
That is very sophisticated and subtle and beautiful. And there is a Spanish designer that just knit a full sweater out of it. I think it might be a bit of a heavy yarn for a full summer sweater. It's something that you would probably wear in the fall. The problem is her pattern is only still in Spanish, so until it gets translated, we can't really do it. But I thought it was a great way for you to see what some of the colors look like when they stripe out. So there is that sweater, and where is my shawl?
Chevron?
No, this one. There's a pattern called the Harlequin Shawl. This is an Earth Designs, and that uses this color, which I'm going to make this one into. Am I holding it right?
Yeah.
3 skeins.
Oops.
3 skeins to do this shawl, and this shawl is done in linen stitch, which linen stitch looks fantastic when it's done with a multicolored yarn. If you've got any experience with the linen stitch, I think you'll agree with me that it really shows the color work off, as well as adds a little texture. So we've got a full stock of this yarn. The little cardigan is probably only going to take 5 skeins of that, but we're starting to get our cottons in.
Marissa in all caps. Love that one.
Love it. Yes, it is really, really great. And it's a very nice yarn to knit with, I have to say. The cotton with... You okay?
I'm okay.
The cotton is very smooth, and you should be up there on a size 10.5 to an 11 needle to let that cotton really not be so cardboardy dense. You want to push it a little bit. When Kate brought the vest over, or the tank top over, you could see that you couldn't see through it. It was a nice fabric. It wasn't too dense, and I knit that all in a 10.5. So anywhere 10.5 to 11 needle will give you a nice fabric with it. Along with the stock of the Galatea cotton, we got in a big order of the unique worsted weight, which is always a fun yarn to knit. And I'm going to show you something in that in a minute. We got over 22 colors in with 10 to 15 skeins of every color. So we are heavy in the unique worsted weight. We have got it up in the window in 2 different chevron scarves, 2 different colorways in a chevron scarf pattern, and this chevron scarf is also one of theirs. I didn't bring the pattern over, but it is one of their patterns, and this is one of the colors that we have hanging on the window. So this is a nice wide scarf so that you really get the doubled chevron, so you really get a chance to see and do what the whole pattern stitch is really about. But it's a pretty easy pattern to do, and we're featuring it in our window for the Olympics. The Olympics start on February 3rd, and traditionally, especially the Winter Olympics, it's a time when knitters really settle in and have some fun watching the Olympics and knitting while they're doing that. So you want to knit something or be working on something that's not too hard, that you don't have to concentrate a lot on, but gives you a lot of bang for your buck. And we think that this chevron scarf is one of those designs, because look at that.
Yeah.
Wow, love it. So I just brought over a few of the colors that have been really popular. So you can go bright and fun like this. Talk about knitting a rainbow. This is definitely the brightest, most rainbowy one that they have. This is, not that we'll remember this, but
Harmony.
This is 4004.
It's called Harmony.
Harmony.
Because of the rainbow.
All right. And on the opposite end of the scale is this one. Do you know the name of this one?
No.
This is 4006.
They don't name that one.
And this is a much more earth-toned neutral one with some olive greens and
I'd go for that
gray
one.
blues. Yeah.
The grays are a little
The
blue.
grays are more gray than blue, but they are a little blue. But that would also really be pretty. This blue, yellow, gray, it's very popular. We just sold this for an entire sweater.
Yeah.
We had one of the butterfly shawls done in it in the lighter weight. So this color has been very popular. And then this one is actually, I'm really liking this one. It's very purpley, but lots of pinks. That lime green, I think, is what gets me.
Every time we get that in, I think this is Northampton's color.
It is.
It just feels like Northampton to me.
It really does. I mean, I can see this walking down the street
Yeah.
with socks and Birkenstocks.
It looks a little bright on the.
It's not
a
as
little-
bright.
yeah.
It's kind of.
It's like muted.
Yeah, it's a
gem-
softer color, not as jewel toned as some of the others. So like I said, we've got plenty of inventory in that and if that doesn't move you, remember our clearance sale is still going on this week and next, and then we'll be winding down and wrapping that up. So we've got some great bargains. Last week I marked stuff down even further. Oh yeah, and the Galatea is also, both yarns are complete on our website, so you can order or take a look at all of the colors online, make a choice, let us know. We can pull it, we can curbside pick it, we can ship it.
And I wanted to share a really easy way to find something on our website is in the search bar. You can just type the name of the yarn.
That's a great tip. So instead of clicking onto the yarn section, just up in the search bar, put in what you're looking for. You can, if you don't know the name of the yarn, you can even put in worsted yarn, and that will take you just to the worsted page, because there's starting to be a whole lot of stuff on our website now as we continue to do that. So YouTube is put off for another couple of weeks, or at least our live on YouTube. I am going to post this because we are recording it. I am going to post this on YouTube, but we have discovered what the problem is. Adrian's boyfriend was kind enough to do some little exploration for us, and when he came in, he said that our speed with Verizon is down below 20. We can't get it any higher with them because they are not a cable company. They are a phone and internet company, whereas Comcast is up above 100 milligigabytes, Mbps, whatever that is. So we don't have anywhere near the speed that we need in order to stream all the things we want to stream. So I am in the process of making a big switch to Comcast, and you know what that means. We just have to wait until they can get here to do it. But once that's done, we should be able to have two things going, Facebook Live and YouTube Live, and be able to include everybody on our streams. So come on by. You will see that we are prepped and ready for lots of spring things, and we want to know, what are you going to be knitting while you watch the Olympics? Because I know you're going to be doing something. Have to be doing something.
Oh, Jen just joined us, and she had the same question that Amanda did about the lantern moons. And so, Jen, those are not sold out. We still have them. Our employees didn't know where we had put them.
I had put them in a basket on top of one of those
bins.
One of those shelves up there, and in the panic of people asking them for them, nobody knew where to look. So we do have plenty of them. I am getting ready to place an order for the Lantern Moon, the little sheep holders. So if you want a little Sherpa, it's called a little Sherpa holder, let me know. And I am placing an order. So several people have ordered the Lantern Moon interchangeable kits. So before that goes in, please let me know if you want one. And basically, guys, that's it for us today. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful, sunny day, although we are supposed to get a little bit of snow. We'll see if we do. Is that it? Is that all the questions?
I'm just responding to somebody, and then yeah.
All right. We'll go knit something and go knit something during the Olympics.
Next.
Bye.